It's not a matter of where he grips it, it's a simple matter of weight ratios. Hello everyone, and welcome to another episode of Xaereth Prevails, a Grand Arena Store, guys. We're in the final match of Week 3 in GAC 20, which, crazy that we've had that many GACs, but we've been doing okay this season. I lost my first match this week, so this whole week has been a bounce back attempt, and this guy had some interesting fleets, interesting teams. You'll see that he mostly set cheese, which I don't know how I feel about that, but there's a lot of these teams we don't normally get to go against. I decided that I was going to try to be a little bit, I don't know, like I made it a little harder on myself just because I wanted some practice against these teams, and he turned out to be attacking at the same time as me, and it was a pretty interesting situation. So let's just get to it, folks, shall we? Let's go to the match itself. Okay, let's actually back up for just a second here. We're facing a dude named Nico Starblaster, and what I decided was we're facing a guy who clearly just misspelled his name. He meant to spell it Necco, like the old candy, and I mean, it's probably still in production. It's probably not that old. In fact, I'm guessing that the old version of that candy would taste gross, because who wants to eat old candy? But the non-aged versions are actually pretty good, I think. So, clearly that's what he meant. Otherwise, like, why would you name yourself Nico? Why would you call yourself Starblaster? And why would you say that you're a living legend when no one has heard of you, unless you mean that you're the old school kind of candy? Because everyone's heard of that. So, let's move on. Now, I'd been pretty busy, and my opponent actually attacked while we were doing our Gambit fight night on the Gambit stream. Now, before I forget, folks, two things. First, please, if you would, I would really appreciate a like or a sub, a comment, something, all three. That would be so awesome, guys. We've been trying to get on the algorithm, mount it, whatever you want to call it, and you guys have been doing it. The channel's been growing like crazy. It's been really cool. I really appreciate it. Please keep doing it. Let's see how big we can grow it, which is what she said. But second, guys, and probably more important, we are hosting Crumb on like the developer Crumb, CG Crumb, on our podcast this coming Monday. So I know a lot of you may be watching this after it happens, so sorry about that. Sorry to waste your time, but we're totally, like, it's a big deal. The community is kind of in uproar currently, and he's going to answer questions, so come hang out with us. It's in the link to the podcast channel is on Twitch. It's in the video description. We're going live at 10:30 p.m. Eastern time on July 26th, 2021. So, that being said, folks, let's take a look at my defenses. So, I just let my defenses roll over. I didn't have the time or whatever, like, to plan on this very much. I took a glance at his stuff, but I'd been so busy, and like all these changes have been announced, all this stuff, so I just let it roll over. And when he attacked, like, he had already attacked and failed once against Darth Revan. So that was pretty neat. And then, let's see. Hopefully we don't just dwell on it. Yeah, so we've got Commander Luke, we have General Skywalker, we have Darth Revan, and Rey with Bando. In the back, we've got a couple Galactic Legends, the same ones I've been setting all season, and then my Dengar BS team, which doesn't ever get holds. It's not a good team. It looks good, but it's not. And then we have Kira team with Nest. Nest is the only one alive, but Kira is the one who's staggering on the map. It's kind of funny. And check out his defenses here, folks. So we've got Phoenix, we've got Ackbar, Mothra, with an interesting build on Mothra. And then we also have a Jedi Training Rey team without BB-8. And the reason we do not have BB-8 is because, as you'll see shortly, BB-8 is with General Grievous. And so that's interesting. Yeah, we've got crew here. We've got a Nute team with Nest and Talzin. And I don't know, all this cheese, guys, we've got to be real cautious. So he's already failed a couple times. That's nice. But we can't really afford to get into a situation where, like, I only have a few good teams. A couple fails could spell our doom pretty easily. So we're using Bad Batch here. Decided to start strong-ish. Just trying to... I don't know, I thought, so there's a couple different things, like, if you hit Turret, then Baze gains turn meter. If you hit Biggs, then he gains turn meter as well, and so if I put Daze on all of them, then we're all good. Everything's good to go. And then, of course, we just failed, like, the 15% chance. They don't have good tenacity or anything, but failed the 15% chance to stun either Biggs or Wedge. That got a hit off. Didn't really matter, though. One thing I did want to look at, and he hadn't done this, but with Ackbar lead, you can actually make Biggs and Wedge really, really fast without them actually knowing, or without being able to tell. Like, go look at the Wedge and Biggs kit, and then look at Ackbar's lead. You can get them really fast. My opponent didn't really take advantage of that, but you can make them like in the 300s pretty easily. So decided to try this against this Jedi Training Rey team. They didn't have super fast characters, and without BB-8, you can kind of just march in here and have your way with any number of them. Now, I feel like this is kind of like in Spaceballs, like I want to stop this for just a sec, because what it felt like, what I told the stream was like, it looks like in Spaceballs, you know, when they go down to the planet and they rescue the princess from the Spaceball homeworld or whatever, and then the Spaceballs catch them, but they didn't actually catch them. They caught their stunt doubles. That's what this felt like. With Finn and Poe just hanging out there. It's like, oh no, like there's Finn and Poe on here. Oh no, they're just the worthless version. So the actual worthless. So I decided, in a rare display of obstinacy, I decided to start using every single AoE on them, and all the buttons from Dark Trooper that we never get to push because his basic is so good. I started pushing those buttons. I'm crazy. I know. I still got a 60 on one of the hardest teams in this zone. So you can see my opponent's score just ticked up. So he just started attacking. Looks like he cleared the top zone. And he didn't clear my fleets yet. So, moving onward, I'm going to use Grievous here against Mothra because I decided to be ironic a little bit. Because you guys know how I've been killing Grievous with Mothra. I decided that it would be kind of fun for Grievous this season to get his revenge, so I decided to do that. Here I'm checking to see, guys. Now, I know that this is kind of just going to be a blowout fight, because this isn't the right comp from Mothra to be able to go. Like, I was checking to see if Magna Gar's AoE ability actually gave target lock or not. I forgot if it did, and it does not. So the thing is, I wanted to target someone with target lock there, so that B1's assist would also hit the target lock and give me more turn meter as well, because that basic, the B1 basic also doesn't apply turn meter, and the whole thing about this is trying to apply as much, sorry, not turn meter, gosh, I keep saying that, target lock is the word we're looking for. Anyways, 58 here, about what you expect from a Grievous team against an overmatched team. And now, the struggle I was having was, what team do I use that isn't just total overkill on this? Because if he has 3 Galactic Legends in the back, we need to be prepared. Like, I was pretty sure he didn't, but just out of practical consideration of like, okay, we're practicing. We're making sure that we know what we're doing, that we're being responsible. So I was like, okay, so we're not going to use Mothra against his Grievous team because it's BB-8, and Mothra can be used against a lot of the teams up top, but we can also use it on a Relic 5 fully Zetaed and decently modded Phoenix team, because the Phoenix team has good regeneration. It's not the best comp, though. Like, you don't want Ezra here, actually. I know that he does a lot of damage. He has a lot of utility for them, but Chopper is actually better in the context of Phoenix because Chopper's the one who is just constantly doing annoying things. Like, he's annoying in the show. I always... People are like, oh man, Chopper's so awesome. I'm like, dude, Chopper kills a lot of people. He's not a nice... He's not cool. Like, I would have serious moral reservations about having him on my team, actually. I'm like, do we really want that killer robot to actually, like, do some of the things that he's capable of? Like, the way he just kills people, it's madness. But anyways, you want Chopper on your Phoenix team, though, because of all the extra regeneration and all the cool stuff he does. He interacts better with the Phoenix team at large. So anyways, you get all the turn meter, you get in a turn meter train, and you just run the table. So looks like in the back we have a mixed bag of Rey with some Ewoks standing up. So okay, so we got through my tattered remnants of Darth Revan here, and look at this. So we've got Rey, then we've got Old Republic and Ewoks in the back. This is literally a Rey and Pray defense. Like, you play. Hold on, we gotta stop for just a sec. So you just place Rey and Pray that the other guy can't clear you, because if he can't, then you win, because you saved everything. You don't have, like, everything is on offense, and so what we're doing here, I could easily have taken Kenobi. I have Kenobi on offense, even though I would have probably normally placed Kenobi on defense in this case if I had scouted my guy the way I should have. I decided, well, first off, I mean, on a kind of a sadder note, this might be one of the last times I can use Vader versus Rey. In fact, it might be the last time. Second off, I just wanted, he'd failed enough times that I was like, okay, even if I fail here, I have enough teams to beat all the rest here and be able to probably win. So let's use Vader here and just see what we can do. Now, the tricky part, of course, is Veteran Han. Like, so they don't have a taunting tank really. Like, Holdo kind of is a taunting tank in a way, like, but there's not really any foresight here, so she's not gonna taunt really. So we're going to have a straight shot to Rey. The key is not to get countered to death and ability blocked to death by Veteran Han, and I kind of failed at that. So I'm trying to manage it. She doesn't have any tenacity. Like, she's kind of strangely modded. She is a super duper fast Rey, which you don't see speed Reys too often. I'm looking around trying to decide if I want to do a Culling Blade on anyone. Decide, no, let's just hang out and do some basics here. Try to get some ability blocks out and such. So immediately, I don't have to pass turn meter to Probe Droid here, because Probe Droid is unnecessary. We don't have to dispel anything necessarily, but still good to have the Probe Droid. Saw Poe there, decided to just end him real quick, and then you can see Veteran Han got ability block on Vader. Vader could go into Merciless right now, except for the ability block. So I was like, oh, cool. Well, I'll just dispel it when Watt gets a turn. But Vader got a turn first because of his weapons tech. And so we got to be cautious here, guys. We don't want Rey to get a turn here. So finally, okay, we've got Merciless. Wonderful. Woo! That's pretty fancy. Can we just kill Rey? I decided not to do a Force Crush on anyone first, because I didn't want to get Rey into damage immunity accidentally. And now we have to find a way to manage Veteran Han. So we just killed Veteran Han's friend just now. Like, she's a resistance leader, and so he's got those special rules against him. Decided to only hit Finn here for a little bit, because Han, of course, if you just do a basic and it doesn't kill him, he's just going to counter, and he's going to heal himself anyways. It's going to be an endless loop of destruction. So we can do a Force Crush because there's no counter to that, and then we can just do a Fracture to him, because I thought he was going to die from the Fracture, but he's pretty tough to kill. He's a tough old bird, and so now I'm just doing basics and other things, trying to get to the point where Shore Trooper takes a turn. Never happened. Only 59 banners, but pretty good at it, and all the same, pretty good. So now we get to the point where, okay, we've got to kill Grievous, we've got to kill that Nute team. I don't know, there's a few credible threats here we got to make sure we take care of. So this is one of the, like, really old school fights. Like, this fight has gone on for a long time, And it's only made easier, so you don't really need the hero bros, but if you do, man, this is an easy fight. So you're just passing turn meter from guy to guy to guy. You know, Finn gets a turn, hands it to Poe. Poe stuns someone, Finn gets another turn, you throw the grenade of healing, the holy hand grenade of healing, and you can just look at so watch your turn meter. You're babysitting all the turn meter here. You notice that I hit the TIE pilot, the turn meter was reduced or something like that. Then we hit Phasma, we're controlling their OG Kylo, because that's their main source of turn meter. And then, I mean, you guys can go back and watch it. I mean, once you understand how this team works and how you're passing turn meter to the guy who has the most turn meter, it just becomes quickly a fiasco for your opponent. So really easy 60. I would have bet money I would have gotten a 60 going into that fight. So looking back at how my opponent's doing, they killed the worthless Dengar team. They're infighting against my Jedi Master Luke. So why don't we go here? Let's use Bounty Hunters against this team. I wasn't sure how I would do against it, but I was pretty sure I was just going to dominate it. Now, this is actually an important point, guys. So, all right, so you guys have seen me use the Bounty Hunter team a bunch, and so you know that you taunt with Bosk, you have Grief do a mass assist, and then Bosk does a mass assist. Now, to get the contract, though, you have to have everyone take an action, and if Bosk does his mass assist on Dooku and kills him, no one else is going to actually assist. Like, some assists you call, everyone attacks even if the initial shot killed him. Bosk, it just kills him, and then it's over. So then you only get one uptick, from 50 to 60. We need that contract, though, before Mando goes, and he's going to go pretty soon. So we need to target someone else other than Dooku here. So it's an important thing when you're facing this type of squad. So instantly, was able to just destroy the, Dooku. We were able to kill everyone. So, I mean, we're getting so much turn meter by killing all the people. Killed Nest because Nest is the only one who could potentially really hurt us, and in fact, really could super hurt us if we're not careful. Nute comes in, does 20% health damage, which is fine because we just heal anyways and get 60 banners. And, I mean, it doesn't really work that well if your bounty hunters are slower than Dooku, but my bounty hunters were like 30 speed faster. So decided again, like we have safe options. At this point, there's going to be a few really good teams that I can't use, but decided for fun, because we're on a stream and stuff, I'm like, okay, Carth is kind of like the old version of what Bo-Katan is, and so decided to give the people what they wanted. And now I'm like, okay, just if you hit Canderous, then Canderous is going to retribute all the time, and then they never got another turn. So Jango's like, no, I'll just kill them now. He's like what Anakin is at the end of episode 2. He's like, no, I'm gonna take him now. But instead of failing horribly and it being this terrible mistake, Jango succeeded. So, anyways, killed all but my Supreme Leader Kylo now. We're gonna go back. This is one of my favorite matches, guys, because Kenobi allows no bonus turn meter at all. No manipulation of turn meter. And so, watch B2 this whole time, guys. It is just so satisfying. No one gains bonus turn meter. Like, Grievous, once you kill a droid, he gets a bonus turn, which is different. Bonus turn doesn't have anything to do with turn meter, but otherwise, if I get target locked, doesn't matter. They don't gain turn meter. There's no turn meter manipulation. Gosh, that's the true enemy, isn't it? The word turn meter. I can't say it, or I say the wrong thing. Target lock is the wrong thing. So, they're like the same-ish. So, cool. So we killed someone. We just happened to have a little more turn meter, the same amount as Grievous, so we went one turn right before him. But we just got to kill each droid. Each time, Grievous will gain his bonus turn, I believe. Magna Guard taking like 12 bonus attacks before he dies, just really taking advantage of the system. Really wanted to make sure that I wasn't hurting Grievous enough so that I could just one-shot Grievous with Cat. And obviously super overkill here, but like I said, we're just going for kind of funnish matches here, and I'm killing B1 here just because it's funny to do it. while B2 is just like, guys, I'm trying to gain turn meter, and they're like, lol, it's not working, a-hole. Try harder, and he's like, I am trying harder. It's awkward, actually. Okay, this fight is what's awkward, actually. This fight is my least favorite of the bunch. It occurred to me, I'm like, well, I wanted to use Sith Eternal to solo these guys, and it actually does work. In fact, for the most part, it usually does work to use Sith Eternal to solo them, but then I was like, but it can get a little dicey, and if that fails, then I guess I have Jedi available to kill them, but I just prefer not to put myself in a situation where, like, my Jedi Revan team, with Jedi Luke, of course, has to deal with these guys because I don't have Jolie. Like, things can go south with that sometimes. I just didn't want to be in this weird situation where I failed, so why not just take Traya here? We're going to get less banners for sure, and I'm trying not to get any kills here because the second I kill one of these guys, then you can see Linked goes away because I initially had to put Link on Zombie, and I had Fracture on Zombie. It was all going well, but then Spirit did Spirit things, attacked me, and then I already done damage to Spirit foolishly because Spirit has Foresight and protects me from that, kind of. Like, so Spirit goes, and then I'm like, oh, hey, I have Retribution, I will hit you, just like what happened just now, and I missed, and then Spirit immediately at the end of their turn regrows Foresight. That's what I should have just let happen, but I didn't, and so I let Spirit die at one point, and yeah, so, okay, killed Spirit again. I was like, you know what, let's just go for a couple kills here, because I'm bored. I don't want to wait for my ultimate, because the ultimate's taking forever. May as well just enjoy myself. Look at how low Scion's getting, though. He's not healing at all. I'm probably doing the wrong moves to heal him, and then he just dies. He just keels over. He's like, he keels over, like, you have keeled me, like that. So, decided to use Annihilate on Spirit, because screw her. And now we've got Talzin. Talzin's dead. Talzin's back. She's back. And we just don't want to hit the guys with Link. That's the only thing. So now we've got Sith Eternal, the Gucci version. Isn't that what people call him? I've always been a little annoyed by that for some unknown reason. But you can do the ult, get a 54. Just terrible banners for using a Galactic Legend against a B team. It's like a B plus team, but still. So, in the back, he's got Malevolence, he's got Raddus with Bounty Hunters, which is what I've titled the thumbnail as, because it's a really interesting team, actually. Okay, but first we have Murder Bears to murder or to be murdered. Decided I would risk it just a tiny bit, just wanted to try and undersize against him. Didn't really need to. My opponent had failed a couple times at this point, I believe, and I just thought, why don't we just test it? Because he didn't have a fast Peplu. He didn't really have any of the cool tricks that Ewoks can play. So, you know, we're just going back and forth. Decided to take Revan lead because Revan can, because of all the calls to assist, Revan can heal himself quite a bit. So, got the 62. I don't know what we would have done if Hoda hadn't been there. That was the other question. Could I duo it? Decided to trio it. May as well. So, ships, you can see, they kind of struggled on mine. You know, I've got the double flex is what I've been calling it. It's kind of unoriginal, but that gets the point across. So this is the final version of what looks like in the fleet zone. People technically have 6 fleets available for offense here if they place 2, but usually that 6th fleet is not going to be enough to take on that version of Negotiator. Frankly, like, Ahsoka's dead. They're just like, lol. Who cares about you, Ahsoka? You'll come back. You have 3 versions. You're okay. So, he was attacking. Supreme Leader Kylo failed once against him. I was like, oh. Like, they almost killed First Order Stormtrooper. Pretty sure they're not going to kill that squad. So, you know, but I'm kind of halfway rooting for him because I was pretty confident at this point that I was going to win. And so, decided, guys, you remember a couple matches ago against the different Malevolence fleet with it as Sunfac, Hyena Bomber, and Spy as the start, and then only Vulture Droid as the reinforcement. I was like, I have no idea if this Raddus comp works well against the more standard Malevolence or not. Let's give it a try though, because if I don't get the kill, I still have plenty of other things to beat the other teams. So we're sciencing at this point, trying to make this work. So yeah, we've got Raddus here. And the key here. So we give the turn meter to Houndstooth, who then taunts, and then, you know, he has his buzz droids and all of that. And now, the way we did it in the last counter, we take Cad Bane in. So we've got all of these. We've got all of the, whatever those debuffs are called, gosh, breach. We got a breach on someone, but more importantly, we have retribution on Houndstooth. So, I mean, breach is nice, but then their spy came in and just ruined everything, because then they could focus down Xanadu Blood. But for now, at least, we still have retribution. We still have taunt on Houndstooth, which is super nice. And so I was like, I guess this is the time that we use the Dispel, even though there's only one ship that had buzz droids on me at the time. Figured it is time to do it. So now we're just trying to get to the point where we can delete Malevolence with the Raddus, pull a Raddus maneuver, as they call it in the movies. We've got our Falcon to come in. Mudbum, the guy who was with us, was like, wait, why are you bringing Falcon in? I'm like, because it's awesome. And so we're at the point now, I believe we've used enough specials. Yeah, so as long as we use specials while we have from resistance ships, Raddus reduces her ability, or her cooldown, to be able to delete other teams. So, you know, we've lost quite a few. We've got the Razor Crest in here for no apparent reason other than Razor Crest is cool, and I had 7 stars. I may as well get it in there. 56 banners, not great, but that counter did work. I think it lurks less though, because Spy just came in and ruined our plans a bit. In fact, it's probably best if they killed Xanadu Blood first. That's probably the best roll we could have hoped for. Now, I decided to take Empire here against Raddus. This is the Raddus fleet with Bounty Hunter's note, and you can see Darth Vader's just not doing that well. He's like, this is why I want Bounty Hunters on my team working with my ship, so that I don't have to take this kind of crap from them. Now, this was actually a cool move. Check this out. So he had target lock on Houndstooth, and then if you use your special while someone has target lock, then the other character, then they get buff immunity, which means you can do actual damage to Bosk without any of that bonus protection. But then Bosk went because he had all the turn meter, so it was kind of a bad timing on my end. But Darth Vader is casually deleted by Razor Crest, and things aren't looking great here. Actually, we've got a TIE fighter, which is super flimsy, and a beleaguered looking TIE bomber. But then then Gauntlet comes in. Gar Saxon, our savior, apparently. Who'd have thought anyone would ever say a thing like that? But he comes in and takes all their aggro. He can kind of, we want to kill that. We want to take out that Slave 1 eventually, Boba Fett's ship. Boba Fett's Starfighter? I don't remember what it's called, but we want to take it out because pretty soon it's actually going to be getting its mini ult, and that mini ult could actually be really bad for our TIE bomber. So instead of killing it, of course I did a bunch of specials first, but I was pretty cognizant. I thought that I'd get it at least one turn to hit him, and I did. And then we finally get target lock on someone else, delete IG-11 or 88, whatever, get a 59. Wasn't pretty either. I think I could have done Rebels for better banners, but it actually, it worked out. So they killed Supreme Leader Kylo there after the second hit. So I had been wrong. Their fleet zone ended up, like I said, 2 attempts on Negotiator and etc. So we did get the win here, and got to bounce back weak for myself. I mean, this is a pretty good layup. Like I'm happy enough with this result. Obviously, this you know, getting this opponent. Nothing against my friend Neko here, just I think he's more casual. I mean, he's got Relic Phoenix, so that's not nothing against him. He's just a little more casual. So you know, moving forward, we can just lull and move on. So guys, I'm gonna call it here. Thank you all so much for watching, and remember that in all things, Xaereth prevails.